I grew up on a farm in Boone County, and my mom and dad, of course, both grew up on farms as well. My dad, Roger, was farming with his dad, so my grandparents lived just basically on the same farmstead. We milked dairy cows and we had hogs and a lot of different kinds of crop. And my dad and his dad were very involved in conservation. And like in the 60s, they won the Soil and Water Conservation Award for their local area. So some of that obviously affected me growing up, helping to farm where we planted on the contour, which was a little bit of a challenge, trying to get the point rows just right. My mom also was sort of close to nature, if you will, in a couple of unique ways. She gardened a lot, and as a kid when I was growing up, sometimes I was the youngest, and so I would end up maybe while we were milking cows, if all three of us boys were milking cows and she was working in the garden, and they'd send me to go help her. My grandpa on my mom's side, he loved to fish, and I like to fish, and so again, that connection to nature, I think, is something that was just sort of a way of life, if you will, or part of what we did. When I was growing up on the farm, of course we had chores to do and so forth, but I had free time as well. And when I had free time, I would spend a lot of time at a place very similar to this, actually. So I would go over there and spend time just doing what kids do when they're out in nature. And now that I have kids, I see myself doing or encouraging some of those same things. Part of the reason we worked hard to try to live where we live here is to give my two daughters a place for them to go, to just spend time in nature, to unwind and relax and see things and learn about things on their own terms and in their own way. My grandpa Bud, one of the things that he taught me when I was young, we would often be out after dark doing chores still, and we would look at the stars a lot, and so he taught me little tricks. And so again, I see myself teaching those same tricks or lessons to my daughters as well.
Always been around nature. We grew up going to Sherman, fishing and traveling, going to Grand Canyon and Badlands National Park, which is near where my parents grew up, and the Black Hills in South Dakota, and just seeing and exploring all these wondrous places that were just fascinating to me as a little kid. I just loved Badlands National Park. So this was something that just kind of always resonated with me. We were just always outside, I feel like, when I was young. And it's cliche now, literally did not come home until street lights came on. I remember being in the Black Hills with extended family, big families, and my Uncle Delbert and cousins, and we were picnicking and campfiring and taking my grandfather Bud, even when he was older, even if it was just a drive down through the Badlands, he just wanted to go see the sheep, the bighorn sheep that were there. And I remember being on a lake in Montana and the gates of the mountain, and the stories that went with that. My husband Rich was significant, what we both just loved and had a passion for, and brought us together. Once we started having kids, that was sort of one of our main goals, is that we just wanted to make sure that they always had exposure to the outdoors. Just believed in having them outside in that sort of whole healing and just knowing where you came from.